Good afternoon, everyone. We'll get started in just a minute or two, just allowing everybody to come through. So please bear with us for now. Good afternoon to those of you that have already joined. Welcome to our webinar today. We are going to be kicking off in a couple of minutes for our virtual open day, and just give us a minute or two and we'll allow some of the last individuals to come through. Good afternoon and welcome to our Red and Yellow Virtual Open Day. My name is Ashley Young and I'm the Head of Sales here at Red and Yellow. I'm thrilled at the opportunity to give you a glimpse into what makes us an incredible institution. Some of the house rules for today: if you have any questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A function, and this will allow us to access any of those questions that you may have. You can do that throughout the entire presentation. If you do get disconnected from Zoom, simply rejoin from the link that you had received via email. And don't worry if you miss anything or you have any questions that aren't answered in this particular session today. We'll be more than happy to pick up those conversations with you individually after this session, or one of the career advisors will be able to have a conversation with you too. We will be sharing a recording of the open day, as well as an email through to you in the coming days after the webinar itself. It will also accompany the slides that we do present today. So over to the agenda for today, and what we'll be looking at. Just give me a sec. Looking at today's agenda, we'll cover why Red and Yellow. We'll look into our agency and industry associations. We'll also look at some of our incredible partnerships, and then finally we'll look over the online programs, as well as the short course offerings and qualifications we do have, followed by, of course, that Q&A session which I have mentioned. So why Red and Yellow? Red and Yellow is the largest feeder of talent and change makers, as well as innovators and creators to industry at this stage. We've built an incredible reputation over the last 29 years since our inception in 1994. We form part of the Honoris Network, which is a consortium of African education universities and institutions. And as part of that network, we offer a wide range of online digital marketing courses in areas like Mauritius, Nigeria, and most recently in Tunisia. Where we were born out of the need for talented, work-ready graduates, and this was recognized by three industry legends, Brian, Bob, and Alan, who you can see on screen. And those, as legends do, they wanted to really disrupt the marketing and advertising landscape to develop the incredible future creative leaders. And with that concept, Red and Yellow was founded in a small office at Ogilvy. We've come a long way since then. But their passion, without a doubt, is the driving force behind the fusion of commercial logic and creative magic, which is Red and Yellow. Nothing displays that fusion any better than the image on screen. And as an education a company, we are responsible for that fusion of commercial logic and creative magic. We believe that through our programs, logic and magic come together to test you in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We believe that the most important skills of the future will be creative thinking coupled with the soft skills that make us humans. And tomorrow's changing challenges and changes, they do require the creative thinking, and that creative thinking needs to happen today. Our mission at Red and Yellow is to teach the leaders of tomorrow, to provide those innovators, creators, and change makers with the most relevant and up-to-date skills to make a meaningful impact and create magic. And as many of you may be aware, we are an authority in the digital marketing landscape. And in fact, we wrote the textbook. The e-marketing, the essential guide to marketing and the digital world is our textbook, which is regularly revised, and to date has over 1 million downloads. It is used as a prescribed textbook at hundreds of universities from around the world. So if you are studying e-marketing at any stage, it is likely that the textbook is ours, and the content comes from us. We are, of course, trusted by industry and have an extensive agency network of over 100 agencies across the continent, and actually that's grown up over to 500 agencies. And as a result, we are able to put together real life business challenges, and our students through our students with things like brand challenges and obviously engagement through the actual content itself. We've also provided our students with a unique opportunity to learn from industry through feedback sessions on their particular work. Then looking at our partnerships, our students benefit from regular guest lectures by industry leaders, creative entrepreneurs, and influential figures. This exposes our students to fresh approaches, current and relative business challenges, as well as then the latest thinking that is coming from industry. We, of course, have a significant partner network and some incredible brands in our partnerships. These include institutions like the Luries, Meta, Adobe, the Interactive Advertising Bureau, the One Club, the Project Management Institute, the CMO Council, as well as Nedbank IMC, and that, of course, being the Integrated Marketing Conference. Let's take a look at some of our online offerings. We'll look at both our short course as well as our online qualifications. So first, before we start, I suppose we can look at the question of why an online short course. Online short courses are designed in such a way that they're able to upskill you in just between 5 and 15 weeks, depending on the course that you're particularly looking at. They have no requirements other than the recommendation from our side is, of course, at least a matric. And our courses are designed, our course design team breaks our incredibly complex content into modules and further into units. And what we do is we follow the latest pedagogical approaches, or to put that more simply, the latest methods of teaching and learning to create the most incredible learning experience. These units themselves include things like your course videos, your course notes, a number of discussions, interactive and engaging assignments. And I can give a little bit of anecdotal personal feedback from myself. Over the last 8 years, I've personally done over 15 online short courses, and the learning gain has been incredible. I've been able to put the learning into practice within hours of learning it. And my personal journey is one of lifelong learning. And candidly, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Something quite interesting to note as we start getting into the short courses, we've broken these down into 3 focal areas, namely our design courses, our marketing courses, and then of course our creative leadership courses. So looking through those, the design courses, I'm just going to call out a few of the courses here. We've got the graphic design for beginner as well as the graphic design for intermediate. We've got user experience, digital content and copywriting, design thinking, as well as service design. And as I mentioned, these courses, they do vary in length, anything from 5 weeks up to 14 weeks, which you can see on screen, and wonderful opportunities to learn in the design space. Then looking at our marketing courses, and the marketing courses I'm going to call out is our digital marketing course, which of course we're renowned for in the industry, is our digital marketing space. And then of course the digital marketing professional course, social media, the data analytics for marketers, as well as then the marketing strategy and your performance marketing courses. And once again, a myriad of options in terms of the length of those courses, anything from 6 weeks up until 10, 12 weeks with some of the longer courses. Then taking into consideration our creative leadership courses, a few options here incorporate our account leadership course, people management, project management, which is endorsed by the Project Management Institute, as well as then sales and account management, and then our the operational thinking courses, to name a few there. Then onto our online qualifications. Our online qualifications are designed to help anyone looking for a distant mode of study. For the most part, they are taken by working professionals who are either looking to take the next step in their careers or looking for validation of a particular skill set. And then the other options are things like making sure that they're getting that formal education, perhaps not having the opportunity straight out of school, spend some time in a working environment and looking for that validation, or looking for formal education at the end of the day. Majority of the working professionals that I know, at least, they cannot just quit their job and head back to school for full-time studies. And luckily with our online and part-time qualifications, you don't have to do that. And if you are considering any of these online and part-time qualifications, one of my strong recommendations is to get in touch with your career advisor. They're freely available, and the team is there to take you through the program, speak through the requirements, as well as then any of the application items that need to be incorporated into your application itself. But looking at those online and part-time qualifications, what we first got here is our national certificate options, and these are NQF5 and NQF6 programs offered in over a 12 to 15 month period of time, and they do require a matric certificate, and all of them except the business analytics program, which does require an NQF level 6 to enter the program, or at least an NQF level 5 to get into the NQF level 6 program. And the options which we do have on screen, of course, is the National Certificate in Digital Marketing. We also have the option for the creating digital content, user-centered design, and then of course the NQF 6 Business Analytics program. Then looking at our advanced diplomas, these are offered part-time over 2 years. All except the digital marketing program have a compulsory 1-week immersion on campus at Red and Yellow each year. And those options are our our advanced diploma in marketing and advertising communication, our MAC program as it is also known. We've got then our advanced diploma in user-centered design, in copywriting, and of course then the digital marketing program. All four of the options do require at least an NQF level 6 to enter the program. So having some previous study is a requirement for those advanced diplomas. There are things like RPL, or recognition of prior learning, that can also be considered for these programs, but that would mean that you would need to put an extensive portfolio of evidence, and that's something that your a career advisor can take you through those options too. Then what we do have is our exciting new distance BCom marketing. This program is offered in over a 3 or 4 or 6 year. So really designed for that working professional, and taking into consideration the blend of your professional requirement as a working professional, and then the opportunity to study over 3, 4 or 6 years. The program does have some relatively stringent requirements, and this is that you would need a bachelor's pass on your matric results, and then either having pure maths with a score of, or at least a percentage score of at least 50%. And if you didn't have pure maths literacy at a 65% mark. So some relatively stringent requirements, and one of those things that, of course, we can talk through to you with in terms of things like RPL and a number of other options too. Then looking at our new courses and programs, and we have some really exciting programs on the cards, and we've really been putting a lot of effort into what the landscape and how the landscape is changing and evolving, and this really put into concept some of our micro courses that we have been doing, and these are AI focused courses in things like copywriting, design, management insights, and user experience. These AI micro courses are cutting edge and at the forefront of what's happening in the environment. They're only 2 weeks in length and require around 5 hours each week in terms of engaging with that content. And actually, during the month of October, if you can get an AI micro course for free when you do sign up for any of our online short courses. So if you are looking at any of the short course offerings, make sure you do take advantage of that opportunity before the end of this month. And then we also do have our management development program. It does have an extensive agency leadership focus, and this course will be presented for the very first time in February of 2024. So if you are in the agency environment and looking for that opportunity to learn something new from a management development program, please do check that one out. Then a couple of things just to point out is how do you get in touch with us? There's a couple of different options. You can give us a call on the mobile number that is on screen, the 087 227 3283, and you can have a direct chat with any of the career advisors on any of the options which we may have mentioned today. You can also email us on registrations@redyellow.co.za, or alternatively, you can WhatsApp us, and we can take you through any of the different options. You can scan the QR on screen, or save the number now while you're looking at it. But there's definitely a number of different ways that you can engage with us and have good conversation around any of the options that we are looking for. With that, we're pretty much at the end of presenting some of the options, and we're going to address a couple of QAs. I'm going to open up any questions, and I'm also going to invite Stefan Hill to join me on screen. Stefan is one of our team, is a team lead for online offerings, and an expert in understanding any of the elements with regards to requirements. So we will open up to a few questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see us fully on screen, and we'll jump into those QAs. Stefan, I do see that we have a question with regards to the advanced diplomas in terms of the requirements for those. Can you just take us through some of the basic requirements and application items that may be required?
Sure. Welcome everybody. It's good to see everybody on our webinar. Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, with the advanced diplomas, because of the NQF level being an NQF 7, the minimum entry requirements would be an NQF 6 to gain entry into any of our advanced diplomas. Application process is quite simple, really. If you do hold that qualification, which is an NQF 6, it's as simple as, getting an application form from your career advisor, having it completed, and sending us a certified copy of your ID, certified copy of your qualification, and then just a bit of a motivational letter telling us a bit about who you are. We'd like to know our students. A bit about you are, what exactly got you passionate about the program, and then there will be a little skills test that you need to complete. It's as simple as that.
Wonderful, thanks, Stefan. The next question, which I do see here, is one with regards to financing of the courses. I think what we can do is just do a double edge here and kind of hit both the short courses as well as the qualifications. How can individuals go about financing those courses?
Okay, great question. So we have in-house financing where we offer actual payment plans that's available. So flexible payment plans for our short courses range anywhere between 4 months and 6 months. And then when it comes to online qualifications, depending on the duration of the qualification. So if it's an NQF 5, we have an 11-month payment plan. And when it comes to our advanced diplomas, which is over a period of 2 years, we have a 21-month payment plan. So there is some flexibility around that. Over and above that, we do have a bit of a collaboration happening with Capitec Finance or Capitec Funding, where we get you through to Capitec Finance, and they'll be able to do a little bit of an assessment on you to determine your affordability. Based on past experience, I know that the interest rates are quite competitive, and a lot of students are making use of this function. So we have that as an option as well.
Wonderful. And then the next question, which I do see here, is an individual asking about they're currently registered with the National Certificate in Digital Marketing, and which relevant working experience do I qualify for the diplomas themselves thereafter? Do you perhaps want to address that, please, Steph? So they're currently enrolled. You're on mute.
My apologies. So currently enrolled in NQF 5, right? What type of work can they apply for with the qualification? Am I correct? Was that the question?
The question is, with relevant working experience, do I qualify for the advanced diploma?
Good question. Okay, got you. Yeah, great question. So yes, so Ashley alluded to the recognition of prior learning process. So it's called RPL, recognition of prior learning. What that does is take in consideration a lower qualification than the entry requirement, which is in NQF 6. So we'll look at the NQF 5. With that, we would need a minimum of 3 years experience within that specific discipline that you're applying for. So 3 years experience within digital marketing, right? Should you have that, we would also require a minimum of 2 testimonials, either from a manager or a client that can speak to your experience within the digital space. But to answer your question, yes, as long as you have the 3 years working experience and at least 2 testimonials to back up your experience, yes, you can.
Wonderful, thanks, Stefan. And then the next question we do have is are you able to do the online higher certificate or the online programs while overseas?
100%, of course you can. The beautiful thing about online is you can do it from anywhere in the world, right? So yes, you can. It doesn't matter where you are, because our content is for the largest part preloaded onto our learning platform. You get an allocated time per module or per session, and as long as you work through that based on the time requirements that we give you or the guidelines, which is either 8 to 10 hours or 10 to 12 hours, whatever the case might be, depending on the program. As long as you stick to that, you should be fine. And yeah, we do have dedicated administrators and staff to assist individuals that's also abroad as well. Turnaround time is generally 24 hours, but if it is anything urgent and you are able to give us a call and we'll be able to get or answer any question that you might have. But our team is quite on top of things. So our aim is to make sure that everybody gets across the line successfully.
Wonderful, thank you. Another question that did come in is, does the institution offer any employment opportunities after completion, such as internships or so forth?
Yeah, that's the most asked question. Besides pricing, that's the most asked question. So yeah, so I think one of the benefits of being a part of Red and Yellow family is that we have what we call, a network, alumni network. And Red and Yellow, we have a lot of relationships with a lot of industry leaders, a lot of biggest agencies out there, and we usually get requests on a monthly basis from these agencies or companies or individuals looking for a type of individual, right? So we are extremely passionate about making connections with people, building relationships. So we don't offer placements, so we don't guarantee a placement in a job, but we definitely make the connections, right? So if a company comes to us and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody that recently completed an NQF 7 in digital marketing, this is the type of individual that I'm looking for, right? Based on, firstly, how well you did on the course and your participation in the course as well will determine whether you kind of fit that criteria. So as a career advisor or team lead, my team knows that when we are selling to a individual or a student, we ensure that they participate in as many discussions as possible, right? Outside of your grade, there is participation points that you receive as well. And what this basically gives us an idea of is that, look, in agencies, we need to work together as a team. Right? So this gives us a good example of, even though we're studying online, that this individual is extremely dedicated to kind of get their hands dirty, get involved, and be a part of the process. So I would encourage everybody, when you do sign up, get involved as much as possible. And yeah, in terms of the connections, Yes, we do have a network, extensive network, and we'll do anything in our power to kind of, make those connections happen if possible. So I hope that answers your question.
And another question for you, Steph. There's two of these that have come up, so I definitely need to answer this question. Is how do tests and exams work for online courses? And I think we can answer this for both the advanced diplomas as well as the short courses, and in how that works.
Sure, no problem. So the short course is slightly different to our programs, which is our advanced diplomas or our national certificates, but I'll start with the short courses. So written assessments, assignments, multiple choice quiz, as simple as that. So let's say you get access to a module, okay? The first module, let's say, speaks to strategy within the digital age. You'll work with that content, you'll have a week to complete that, and within that week, you'll then be tested on what you've learned, either through a written assessment, an assignment, or multiple choice quiz. Okay, that changes throughout the modules. Depending on the module, you'll either get two multiple choice question, as well as an assessment assignment, or both, right? Depending on the module. But no examinations where you will need to log you onto Zoom or any other place where you kind of, sit down and write. No. For written assessments, assignments, or quizzes, we provide you with all the templates on the learning platform. So should there be an assessment coming up, it's as simple as you downloading that assessment, completing it, and ensuring that it's submitted on the platform before the due date, which will be communicated in advance.
Wonderful. Another question we did have here is, can I do the advanced diplomas or any of the courses while I'm working full time?
Fantastic question. Yeah, so this program has been specifically designed for working professionals like yourself. I think that came from Danae. Yeah. Yes, so it's designed for working professionals. That being said, I want everybody to be, to understand that it is a very, very intense program. It's at an NQF 7 level, right? It does take a lot of time. There's a lot of effort and a lot of attention that needs to go into the program as well. But it is designed for working professionals. And the beautiful thing about this program, and even though it's over a period of 2 weeks, after each section and module, you can implement what you've learned, right? Ashley mentioned that earlier as well. Same when it comes to our short courses, once you're done, apply. Once you're done, apply. And that's the beautiful thing about Red and Yellow. And Ashley alluded to this earlier when it comes to our founders. They saw a gap. We fill that gap. And that's our aim at Red and Yellow. So 2-year program, throughout the 2 years, you will still be able to kind of upskill throughout the weeks of study and apply what you've learned in real time, basically. But yes, anybody that's working can definitely sign up and join.
Wonderful, and thank you, Steph. We had another question from Tammy, who wanted to know if it's possible to do a trial snippet of the short course. She's stuck between two choices of either the motion graphics or data visualization course, and the InfoPack hasn't not quite giving her what she needs to make the final decision. I mean, I could probably answer this and say, the best way to kind of navigate this and have this conversation, Tammy, is to engage with your career advisor around the different options and really get into the nuts and bolts of what it is that you're looking to achieve. Perhaps there's an opportunity to think of looking at both of those courses at different stages, depending on what you're looking for currently. But Steph, would there be anything else do you think you'd want to add to that? There's unfortunately isn't an option to do a trial of the course or a snippet of the course, but we can give you a good understanding of what is included.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Ashley. You hit the nail on the head. Best thing to do is to speak to one of the experts, and that's us. So reach out. We'll be more than happy to set up some time with you to unpack it in more detail. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about what's going to meet your need and what gets you to the next step. So best way to do that is over a call. Yeah.
Wonderful. And Tammy, yeah, please reach out if there's specifics you'd like to know there. I think that's comparing the two different options is always just taking your particular context into consideration, which is immensely important. Then another question which we have here is with regards to hardware requirements for any of the national certificate programs. The particular call out here was for the user-centered design course. Is there any particular hardware requirement?
There are for hardware, not specifically. Software, yes. Hardware should be fine. Software, I don't have that information at my disposal right now, but for hardware, basic computer, as long as it can run Adobe, you should be fine. Nothing crazy in terms of hardware requirements, no.
Once again, I think an important option here is just reach out to your career advisor. They'll be able to take you through the specific requirements for each of the different courses. And obviously, before you start, or before you take on any of the courses, we do want to make sure we're setting you up for success. So if there are any particular hardware requirements based on the software that is needed, we'll obviously make sure that you do have that information. And then another question is do you have to be in Cape Town for graduation once you've completed the diploma course, or any of the other qualifications, or can it be done via postal mail?
Okay, so for advanced diplomas, for all of our advanced diplomas, we do have graduation in Cape Town. The graduation ceremony is actually part of our full-time graduation students as well. So it's a big thing. It's a big spectacle. Rightfully, it should be. We're celebrating your successes. So it normally takes place in Cape Town. If there's if anybody cannot make it, right? I mean, just reach out to us, let us know that there might be, whatever the reason might be, and our team will definitely try our best to make those accommodations. So yeah, I think we've had that before. There might have been a few people that kind of dialed in, but we would like to see you in Cape Town, honestly, to be a part of the actual experience because you deserve it. But other than that, yeah, we should be able to make a plan. And when it comes to your actual qualification and certificate, of course, we'll make sure that it gets to you. So yeah.
Thank you, Steph. And I think an important thing to highlight here is just because you may be studying one of our potential courses or online qualifications, it doesn't really make you any different to any of our online students. You're still a red and yellow student at the end of the day. So that graduation ceremony at the end of the process is really that signing off or that capping experience, which I think is really important. And just because you're a distance or an online student, that look and feel needs to be authentic. And you've done the hard work. You've done all the amazing things and created the magic that you needed to complete that qualification. We do have another question with regards to whether or not we have any information sheets or brochures, prospectuses that potential students can share with their parents when looking at like module breakdowns or course breakdowns, those sorts of things. Steph, you address that one for us?
Yeah, in terms of online prospectus that has everything, what we can do is if you reach out to other registrations or or your career advisor, if you do have one already, what they can do is they can share our actual calendar that has hyperlinks to all our courses, right? Whatever stands out for you, whatever might pique the interest of the students or the parents, we will literally forward those information packs so that you don't have to sit on the website and download 12 or 15 information packs. We will send those PDFs to you as well. So yes, we do have something that we can send through. And yeah, just reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to get it through to you.
I think really just to add to that is if there are any bits of information that you do require that aren't quite met in the prospectus that your parents may need or anyone that may need to consider this applies for working professionals too when you are speaking to your HR or particular line managers regarding any of the course offerings. If there's anything that they do need that is specific to your organization or to your particular needs, reach out to us. We're happy to give you as much information you need to make the most informed decision possible. You can, of course, engage with us through any of the platforms, through the website, through the registrations at Red and Yellow email address. You can contact us via WhatsApp, via phone call. We're happy to engage on any of those platforms to make sure that you have the information you need. Another question that did come through here is, do we have any postgraduate qualifications or potential postgraduate qualifications in the pipeline? I'm happy to answer that. We are working on a number of different postgraduate options. Majority of those will initially be on campus-based programs, but there is certainly potential for a number of postgraduate honors level qualifications moving forward. It's always something that we're looking at. Just be candid, the process of having qualifications evaluated and accredited is a lengthy process. It's something that does take a significant amount of time with the Council for Higher Education, getting them SACWA accredited and whatnot. So all of those elements are really important for us, and we want to make sure that we're putting out the best and most accredited qualifications we possibly can, and that does take a significant period of time. But they are coming. There are some really good options coming in the next few years without giving away too much information itself. We do, of course, have all of our full-time offerings that are available on campus, our BA in visual communication, and as well as our BCom, which is also offered full-time on campus. We have a high certificate in graphic design, to name a few. So there's many different options that we can look on. Please feel free to also check those out on the website. Another couple of questions for you, Steph, is are the courses internationally recognized?
Probably the second most asked question as well. It's a good question, Jenna. Yeah, so online qualifications, let's just make the distinction. So our programs in terms of our national certificates are NQF 5, 6, and 7. The only thing that can be transferred internationally would be something that falls under the national qualifications framework, right? So our qualifications, our programs at least does that. Okay, what will happen is whatever country you go to, you will take your qualification, it will go through the verification body, and they will determine where it falls on their levels, right? Same with SAQA. A foreigner comes to our country, their qualification needs to go through the qualifications authority, right? So in terms of our qualifications, yes. Short courses, that's an interesting question. As it stands, the courses are not on its own, and they're not accredited, right? So they are accredited to unit standards. We have an option to have them accredited to unit standards, but it's not something that holds a qualification or is a qualification, right? Now, most countries around the world recognize the discipline or the skill that you're studying for, right? And most countries or education institutions within countries recognize the importance of continuous learning and upskilling, and that's a universal language. So it's a big concern for a lot of people coming through that studied or first time studying online. It's not really much of a concern. If you do have qualifications behind your name and you have experience and you're using the courses to fill those gaps, that should be fine. So hopefully that answered your question, Jenna. Thank you.
I think I'll throw a little bit more in there. The courses themselves, the short courses specifically, they're standalone short courses, and they're designed that way for a particular reason. And it's really to make sure that you're getting the skill and you're able to put that into practice in a reasonable time frame. As I mentioned earlier, like I've in my personal experience, I've done 15 short courses over the last, I think it might actually be a bit more than that, but over the last 8 years, I've done about 15 of these short courses, and the opportunity for me was to learn something that was perhaps outside of my wheelhouse, or something where I needed to brush up on a particular skill set. I was able to implement that learning and that gain immediately. It wasn't something that I had to kind of go through the entire qualification to have that aha moment at the end, and then apply it in context. So obviously the idea is even with qualifications that you are learning things that you can implement immediately, but with short courses they're broken down into those weekly modules, which typically cover a particular topic under, for instance, like digital marketing. One week could be search engine optimization or SEO. So in that week, you'll learn all of the elements around SEO, and you can implement that within a week. It's not sort of a couple of months before you finish the module, or any of those instances. So they are standalone. They are recognized in terms of being you do get a certificate for completing the course, but not something that is part of a qualification of any sorts. The next question we do have here, Steph, is with regards to the diploma qualifications. Will they allow for further studies at any of the other institutions in and around South Africa when looking at the next step in terms of their education journeys?
Definitely, yeah. So our advanced diplomas would be in NQF 7. So that will give you entry into honors, NQF 8, right? So yeah, so you can study further. You can use your qualification to further your studies. As I mentioned earlier, this is a fully accredited qualification. It's at the NQF 7 level. So yes, you can use it to further your studies, definitely. That goes for any of our online qualifications.
Wonderful. That seems to be a wrap with the questions we've had today. I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity for coming through and listening to us, and the questions that came through. Some really wonderful questions and important ones to be asked. Once again, if you are considering any of the options, whether it be our short courses, online qualifications, or part-time programs, please feel free to reach out to your career advisor. Engage with the Red and Yellow website. You can engage with our contact number. Give us a call, drop us through an email, or WhatsApp us. We're happy to engage where possible. And once again, thank you very much for the time. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your week.